Butler and Dunne, and Declan from Acres Hall. So Keith is a painter, and Declan's company Acres Hall manufacture quality paint. So we have loads of questions in. So hello, Keith.
Hi, everyone.
And hello, Declan. How are you?
Hi, everyone. It's great to be here.
Brilliant to have you. And hello, Adele.
Hi, Keith and Declan. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate your expertise here on today on Inside Out.
Thanks, Adele.
Gwen is just going to ask us all a few questions. We've had a few questions from the public. A lot of the questions that people ask us all the time as professionals. So Gwen, if you want to start.
Yeah, the first question goes to you, actually, Adele. And this is a question that a couple of designers have asked me to ask you.
Okay.
After orange, what's your favorite color?
Oh, I knew this question was going to come up. Orange is my favorite color, and a lot of people know that by now. But my other favorite color is navy. I absolutely love navy blue, and I love the combination. I love the combination of navy and orange, and they're totally different in personality, and it's a much more kind of subtler tone than orange is, and it kind of complements it very well. So when I see orange and navy together in packaging or branding, or if I have a navy wall and an orange couch, which I did have at home, it just makes me excited. I love good color combinations, and they're opposite each other on the color wheel, and they make each other look good.
Okay, thank you, Adele. Keith, the next question goes to you, and it's from Bernie and Carlo. Peeling paint, what do I do?
Could you say that again?
Peeling paint. So
peeling paint. Well, it all depends on what substrate it's actually peeling on. If it's interior woodwork, you've got to sand it all off and put a proper primer undercoat on. If it's interior plaster, it means the painter didn't actually use a proper primer or water down the paint for the first coat. You're going to have to scrape it all off and use something like peel stop or some sort of binder. And an exterior, the same sort of thing. You're just going to have to use a stabilizing solution. And that's it. Yeah, you've got to treat the problem. It's a mistake from the painter usually.
Okay, and the next question goes to Declan. When it comes to finishes, what's the best finish to use in bathrooms?
In bathrooms, we always recommend a good quality bathroom paint with an anti-mold additive. There are many different types out there. I suppose on trend at the minute, the matte finishes they help disguise imperfections on plasterwork as well, rather than sheens. But also in matte finishes, you'll get much better coverage as well. So a matte finish with good anti-mold additives is always good for a bathroom that's going to have some steam.
Okay, brilliant. And our next question is to Adele. Adele, any colour you shouldn't use in a bedroom?
Well, as you know, Gwen, I believe that colour is very personality based, and there are colours that I would recommend not using in your bedroom will be the higher energy colours, but it doesn't mean to say you can't use them. It just means that you have to use them maybe in smaller quantities. Some of the warmer colours like the reds and the oranges and the yellows keep you energized. So maybe if you are using these colors in your bedrooms, use them in the softer and accessories that you can move around. But when you're actually lying down on your bed to actually go sleep and relax and be calm, I would highly recommend staying away from the higher energy colors.
Okay, great answer. Keith, would you recommend water-based or oil-based paint?
Well, water-based for health reasons for the person putting it on and the person living in the room after it. But on some jobs, people will go, it's already satin oil, and you just want to do a quick job and the satin oil will go over it better. But you should be on a new build and now leaning towards acrylics because they stay white and they don't yellow.
And what are acrylics?
Acrylics is the water-based paints, and they're nearly as hardy wearing as the oil bases. It's just water and oil. The oil base, why everybody's woodwork turns yellow is the heat in the house will pull the oil to the top of the coat, and you get that doors that wear white every year, they'll get yellower, and that will not happen in the acrylic. and the acrylic will touch up if you get a chip, and it won't be white where it was yellow. So acrylic all the way, really.
Brilliant. Okay. And Declan, why should this client choose a premium paint?
Premium paints, there are several reasons, I suppose, but better coverage, which equals better depth and color than the customer will receive as the end result on the wall. Also, an application, I'm sure Keith will agree with this one, application of a higher quality paint, it's going to apply more easier, it's going to be less coats, it's just going to be a nicer, smoother finish on the paint filament when it's dry. And the obvious one then is durability. On a premium quality paint like the Acres Hall Finest Matte, you're going to get a much more durable, longer lasting finish.
Okay, brilliant. And Keith, do I always need to sand between coats?
Yeah, sanding is one of the most important. Well, prep alone is the most important thing in painting. More important than the painting. Prep is everything. So always sand in between coats, even if it's only a little light rub. It's just about grip, something to grip onto.
And would would the same be true then if I'm going to paint an old piece of furniture or something like that?
Yeah, no, 100%. Yeah, like there is primers now that go on. There's certain like remember the old plastic sort of kitchen laminates. If you wash them down, you can put a shellac primer straight on them, or some of the other primers. Even I think Declan will tell you that about their new primer that goes on everything. But you should always key it, even with a really fine sandpaper, not a thick one, because if you use a 40 grade, you'll see where the marks go through the thing. So like a 200 grade sandpaper, just so it keys. It's just about gripping.
So does that mean the higher the sandpaper number, the finer the grit?
The finer, yeah, the amount of little beads in whatever little square they say. There'll be 200 bits of sand, there'll be 40 bits of sand in that square. You don't want 40 bits of sand going on a plastic and it'll just rip it. Or a fridge. I remember one of the Instagrammers done her fridge Fox Hollow style, and she used a real high grade, and it left all the marks when she put it on. There was no way of fixing it because you weren't going to flush fill the whole fridge. And it was a pity. You could only see it close, but it's very important to always sand with fine stuff.
Okay, very good. Would you start sometimes with the coarser one and work your way down to the finer one?
If on it really rough flaking stuff, yeah, like woodwork and stuff where it's flaking, you use the high grade to take off all the rough, and then you'll move your way down. But then when you're getting like in between your two top coats of eggshell or satin or gloss, you'll always go really fine. Don't go near the higher grade, the 40, 60, 80 grades. Even the 100 grades in them are too heavy.
Okay, excellent. And Declan, how do you decide what colours that you're going to run with for the next season, or the new colours that Acres Hall bring in?
With Acres Hall, the colours are decided from the landscape colours of Ireland. So really, sometimes we take pictures as we go around. Sometimes when we go on like staycations, I'll take pictures, and some other of the staff will take pictures as well, and we'll just see what colours come up, whether it be in a sunset or like in a dark day or light day, and we'll just pick colours from that are truly drawn from the Irish landscape. Okay,
so they're thought about as colours for our country, if you like, and our light and everything.
Bringing like Ireland into the home with actual colours that, like, from pictures or just driving along, you see a nice landscape, just picking colours and tones out of pictures. That's where we pick a lot of colours from.
Lovely. And Adele, now, there's another question here for you. What is the fifth wall that everybody talks about?
Well, I've been talking about the fifth wall for years and years and years. No one was really listening for a long time, but to understand the fifth wall it's your ceiling in your room. The ceiling in your room is very important, especially in your bedroom, because in your bedroom, you're in a different position than you are in any other room in the house. So the ceiling is actually the wall. It is the one thing that you're looking at all the time. And I totally believe that you should take the ceiling colour into consideration when you're doing your whole room. You should look at it in the whole scheme of things, put it in the outfit, and don't just paint white on it. Now, some people think I'm going to say paint it a dark colour. Sometimes I don't mean a dark colour. It could be just slightly are lighter than the actual wall color itself, because it gives it it gives the outfit a complete finish. Because sometimes when we put white on it, it's so stark and it's so bright, and when we lie down, that's the one thing we look at. And white in nature is ice, clouds, and snow. It is the coldest element of nature, and yet we use all of these warm tones and fabrics and duvets and cushions and pillows to warm up our space, and then we put white on the ceiling. So for me, it just doesn't make sense. So I look at the ceiling as part of the whole room.
And is there ever, a question just came in here from a designer, is there ever a time where you have problems convincing a client to go with the colours that you chose?
To be honest, I spend so much time with my client explaining why I'm choosing the colours. I don't just choose the colours. To me, the whole psychology side of it and the feeling side of it is so important. So sometimes they will question it, but I never talk about colours. I show them the colours and get them to understand why. And I think when you understand why, it's easier to accept anything. You know me very well now. I ask a lot of questions. So with that, I give my client a lot of information so they know exactly why I'm choosing the colours. I'm not just choosing them and then walking away. I'm explaining all the time why I'm doing it.
So you get buy-in for that.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. And Declan, what is your top selling colour, people want to know?
Surprisingly, one of the most popular ones, but I'll give you two, is Blacksmith, which is a very, very dark, almost like a charcoal black, which I have in my own bathroom in my house. And Causeway is a grey. It's very popular at the minute, yeah. It's really nice. But surprisingly, Blacksmith is the surprise one. It's very dark, charcoal grey, almost black, but it goes really well.
Excellent. Okay. And then on to Keith. Keith, I have paint peeling off. I know that we already asked about a peeling one. This is another one just in from Ian and Mayo. I've paint peeling off my ceiling, bathroom in big sheets. What's going on?
What's going on? It's the same thing. Well, there's two problems there. The person that done it probably put it on full, which it means if you didn't put a proper primer on, or you're meant to put 20% water in whatever paint you're using to penetrate the plaster. So the paint is just sitting on it. But even if you had put the water in and you were just using normal vinyl mat, there's loads of little microscopic holes in it, and they'll go in and push it off. So you need to scrape all that down, use a proper primer on it, and use, as Declan said in his first one, a proper bathroom paint. There's loads of them, all the different, whatever paint shop you go in, they'll have 10 different options for it, but it has to be a bathroom paint with mold and mildew protection to stop it.
Excellent. That's great information to have. Thank you, Keith, Adele, and Declan. Next up, we have gardens, and I get the sign going next on text. So text COOMBE, COOMBE to 50300 and help us all to hit our target. You can also go online to our website and you can log in through that and donate more money if you want. People are asking that question. And up next, we have gardens with Paul Smith, and we'll be back live later on.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.